1591.
It's time for the Playmaker Spotlight with Executive Coach and Vistage Chair, Dick Smith.
Well, welcome everybody to the Playmaker Spotlight, a part of Get Down to Business, where we speak to CEOs and business owners and share their stories and best practices with you. I am your host, Dick Smith, the CEO Business Coach and award-winning chair for Vistage International. And tonight I'm thrilled to have as our guest David Petersen, the CEO of NAI Hiffman, headquartered in Oak Brook Terrace, Illinois. NAI Hiffman, the Chicago area representative of NAI Global, is an international organization of real estate professionals with connections all across the world. NAI Hiffman management and brokerage professionals are among the most experienced and successful in the business. From their website, it says, NAI Hiffman operates under the principle we do what we say we'll do. We set high expectations and achieve our goal through detailed reporting, collaboration, established and proven procedures, rigorous and relentless pursuit of the latest marketing intelligence, and by fostering relationships with commercial real estate community. So, David, welcome to Playmakers. Glad to have you with us.
Thank you, Dick. It's great to be with you.
David, give us a little bit of this background of the story, the CNN version, if you will, about you and Hiffman and how you became CEO.
Sure. Well, NAI Hiffman has been together as an organization actually going back to the mid-'70s, but in 2000 we broke away from our development side of the business and formed NAI Hiffman, purely servicing the third-party institutional investor owners. So since 2000, we've been based in Oak Brook and have been delivering services to all of the named investors in the real estate community.
And what area do you cover geographically, basically?
We go all of Chicago, and we go up to a few miles south of Milwaukee, and then down into northern Indiana, down past Maryville, and then out to the DeKalb, Rockford area. So that's our sandbox that we play in.
There you go. And how many brokers, commercial industrial mix, do you have in total? We
have 55 brokers in total that are working on transactions in retail, industrial, office, and the medical side of the real estate. And we have about 155 employees now.
Wow, okay. And multiple offices or all in Oak Brook?
Multiple offices. Our main headquarters is in Oak Brook, and then we have 13 other offices throughout the area that we have remote servicing coming from.
How does the company differentiate your offerings from other commercial industrial real estate companies that you compete with, David?
Well, we compete primarily with the large international firms here in Chicago based on the size of this market share. So I think the main differentiator is that we are a independently owned, the shareholders, owners of the firm office in Oak Brook, and we are all in the office working day to day on transactions and adding value to the firm. But we're also then actively involved with our customers on a day-to-day basis also. And I think that's different than the larger corporate type real estate delivery machines out there.
So tell me a little bit about who is your typical customer? What's the best profile customer you work with?
I think there's probably two categories there. One is the institutional investor, which would be a group like a teacher's pension fund or UBS Insurance or Sun Life or Travelers. Those folks are investing part of their insurance proceeds, as an example, or pension fund proceeds into real estate to attempt to balance their risk mitigation on investing money. So those are a primary client of ours, and I would say 80% of our business is connected with that institutional investor. And then there is the private investor, oftentimes wealthy individuals here in Chicago or in the Midwest that are also buying real estate as an investment vehicle for their future.
Gotcha. Well, hey, if you're just tuning in, this is Get Down to Business Playmaker Spotlight, and we're talking to David Petersen, the CEO of NAI Hiffman, and they're headquartered in Oak Brook Terrace, as David said. So, David, how important is recruiting the right people and building a great team of brokers and other specialists at your company?
Well, I think it is the number one priority of our company is protecting the culture that we've established over all these years, and not that we are looking to clone individuals in our company, but we are looking for very skilled, committed, and very much team-oriented folks. Part of the issue in the real estate industry is often you segment your brokerage services. That's the leasing, selling, or helping an investor purchase a building, from the management and the operations side. And I think, based on how we're hiring and the cultural dynamics that we have inside, those two teams working together make for a powerful end result for the client, which means buildings that are full of tenants and operated well.
There you go. So you are actively working on, you would say, your culture on an ongoing basis.
Absolutely.
Okay. You're the Chief Cultural Officer?
I am that.
Tell us a little bit about, what is your vision for the company 3 to 5 years from now?
Well, I think it continues to do what we do well, but doing it with innovation and be willing to look at all of the changes that are going on in the industry, whether that be technological advancements or other ways of communicating and moving processes along quickly. But I think it is really the expansion of our medical side. That is certainly a growing industry, and I think balancing out what would be called our tenant representation side, which is actually representing the tenant to find space versus solely representing buildings to those tenants.
Can you give me a little taste of the mix there between representing tenants versus, is it a 50-50 at your firm?
Yeah, I would say today we're probably 60+% in representing the real estate itself to that community. And what we'd love to see is more of a 50-50 dynamic between those two sides of the business. Okay.
So you're going after more tenants then.
Yes, we are.
More signs up around my area in particular.
Yeah.
You touched on technologies. Tell me a little bit about how technology might affect your business in the future, both in the commercial, industrial, real estate space.
Well, there's probably two primary areas. One is in the collection of the data of other transactions being done in the market. That's a very important part of leasing a building or representing a tenant, that you know what the lease rates and the costs of running the real estate will be for you as a tenant. And I think the other side is, for the owner of that real estate, the technology on the accounting and the reporting side has advanced greatly, from the days of all kinds of written approvals and writing checks and those sorts of things, to all of that being automated. And in fact, even today, where you would think a typical business would receive their bills from services provided, we now send our bills to a clearinghouse out on the East Coast. Those are all loaded into a computer program, and now we're doing all of those checks and balances on the screen, not handling paper.
Hopefully this isn't a stupid question. How are you getting involved in smart building technologies, green space, that kind of stuff? Is that important to you?
It's really, it is important to us as a firm to be attuned to what that deliverable is and what's going on in that side of the industry. But because we don't own any real estate, we manage and lease it for other investor clients. We really operate that strategy based on what the position of the investor client is. So many of the larger pension funds and institutional folks are very much involved in that, and we've probably won 8 or 9 awards in the last 3 years for advancing those buildings to what's called gold status in that area.
Good, great. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. I'm afraid we're just about out of time. Boy, the time really flies here. I wanted to thank our guest, Dave Petersen, CEO of NAI Hiffman, for being with us tonight. David, you have a wonderful reputation as a company, and I have a great deal of respect for you as the CEO of this fine firm. Great commercial industrial real estate company. If you have people that want to know how to get a hold of you. What's the best way? Your website?
Sure. There's always naihiffman.com or my email directly, dpetersen@hiffman.com.
Oh, great. Well, thanks again, David. And I'd like to thank our listeners for tuning in. This has been the Playmaker Spotlight with your host, Dick Smith, the CEO, business coach, and award-winning chair for Vistage International. You can find me on LinkedIn or email me at dick.smith@vistagechair.com. Please stay tuned for more of Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein coming up in just a few.
AM 560.